We are now going to be discussing bonds and fixed incomes, and this is the beginning of that module. And just to provide a little background, we do have readings associated with this module, and it's called Advanced Bond Concepts. That is a PDF. It happens to be from Investopedia, and it's linked on our website. And it's from 2010, and I would suggest that you download that and keep it. That happens to be an older version of what is currently up there, and I like this version better than the newer version, as do many people. But it does give a good background on bond pricing, and we will be using that as essentially the textbook for this portion of our class. Just to give you a basic definition, there is a difference between equities and debt, and if we're looking at what individuals primarily invest in, they do primarily invest in equities and debt, which can be either fixed incomes or bonds. And there's a difference. Equities are the residual claimant to returns or incomes of the company. There isn't a set schedule on common stocks. There's no commitment to make any payments, and the equity holders gain or lose, and that's an important word to as well, lose if we have upside or downside. Debt, on the other hand, there is a schedule of payments. They are fixed. There is no upside. You can't get more than that schedule of payments, and the only thing that can happen is that there is a risk of not making those payments, in which case that's the risk of bonds, and that is called default. We have bonds, and that again is what we will be primarily discussing, and those are debt obligations, and there's three types that we will be primarily talking about. Sovereign governments, of which we will spend all our time on U.S. Treasuries. Municipalities, and those would be states, cities, and other municipal bodies or other governmental bodies. And the difference between treasuries and other municipalities, states, municipalities, or cities, is that there is generally no default risk on treasuries, whereas there is default rate on municipalities. And then finally, a third type is corporations, which also have default risk. All the ones that we are going to be talking about is publicly traded. And again, as we're looking at it, the sovereign debt, our U.S. Treasuries, do not have any default risk. Those are the basic definitions that we'll be using. Further modules will provide more detail.